Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Final Fantasy XIV Mechanics series. In part 2 we'll be going over some intermediate mechanics such as the two different types of stack markers, distance-based mechanics, proximity effects, pillars, and chains. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. So there's two types of stack markers in the game. There's what you see here, which are single attacks, and then there are also stack markers that have multiple attacks, or the attacks come in waves. They have a little bit of a different icon, and also the attack kind of tramples through players and goes to the back. As you can see here, the boss is going to take out his crossbows and actually do 2 attacks. He'll do it again right there. And it's important to stay grouped up for all those attacks, because if you don't group up, that is basically how you die. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen players level 70, even level 80, not understand what stack markers mean. So whenever you see the green arrows, and whenever you hear that little siren sound, that means get together, group up. That does not mean to split apart. As you can see there, if I didn't group up there, probably would have died. So it's important to take those stack markers seriously and come together when you see them. The next mechanic we're going to talk about is a distance-based mechanic. It's indicated by that purple line that has arrows that point to you and also toward a boss. What it means is that the further away you are, the longer that line is, the less damage you're going to take. So as soon as you see that, run away, get to the other end of the play area, and you will not take a whole lot of damage from it. Next on the list to discuss are proximity-based attacks. These appear as a purple wave that fades away as you get further from the center. It means the further away that you are, the less damage that you'll take. Sometimes they overlap, like in this fight, and when they do, that's okay. Just position yourself as far away as possible from the center of the waves and you'll be fine. Usually when they overlap, there's a clear direction that the attacks are coming from. In this example, it was the corners. And yeah, just proximity-based attacks, stay as far away as you can from the center, and you won't take as much damage. I decided to put pillars in the intermediate video because you don't see this mechanic too much in the early game, but all it really means is to stand next to the pillar that comes out of the ground. Sometimes it's 1 pillar, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, but however many there are, at least 1 player needs to stand in the ring, and when they do that, that will reduce the damage that the attack would do to the party. The next mechanic we're going to be talking about is chains. This is when 2 players are linked together, typically shown by a chain. What this means is that the players that are linked are going to be taking massive damage, and the way to stop this mechanic is to break the chain by running apart from each other. Alright, that does it for the intermediate mechanics. To summarize, stack markers mean to gather together. That's indicated by the green arrow and the siren. Distance-based mechanics means to create as much distance between you and whatever is targeting you as possible. That will reduce the amount of damage that you take from the attack. Proximity-based attacks are indicated by the purple growing circle. Get as far away from the center as you can. Chains indicate 2 players are linked together. Run away from each other to break the chain and stop the damage. And last, pillars. Make sure at least 1 player is standing in the ring by the pillar to reduce the amount of damage that the attack would do to the party. That is all I have for you for intermediate mechanics. In part 3 of the mechanics series, we're going to dive into some advanced mechanics such as spin attacks, in and out AoEs, forced marches, and knockback effects. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.